30 seconds left. Sanchez and Steele. Gets it off to Clausen. Clausen stops. Pops. Three-point shot. Oh, my goodness. Pass knocked loose. Riddle comes away with it. The Riddler.
And it's slam dunk by Riddle.
Riddle with the steal and the throwdown. Look into the air. He's got a man open. Passes up. Complete. Touchdown. Yabba! Hey everyone, this is the Loose Cannon, David McBee, and welcome to our 4th episode of TLSN Overtime. I got a very special guest, a high school baseball coach and just recently named athletic director of Cotter Schools, Mr. Jarod Jefferson. Glad to have you join us here on TLSN Overtime.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
All right, and before we get to the really hard questions, first of all, congratulations. Big announcement just recently happened. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, my wife and I are expecting our first child. It's a girl, due in early October. I'm going to have to probably learn some softball because just in my mind, I've always knew I was going to have a boy that could throw about 90 miles an hour and hit a Steph Curry range three-pointer. But, I'm just still as excited as I can be to have a girl.
Well, from all of us at TLSN, congratulations. We're very happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, baseball coach and talking off air, you actually, you were a big baseball player growing up. So first of all, kind of tell us a little bit about your playing days.
Of course, I played baseball just as soon as I could. My dad actually coached me all the way through Ruth. So, he was my only coach until I got to high school ball, and then of course the Larry Jones over at Yaleville was my high school baseball coach. So I've definitely been blessed, of course, with my dad as my coach, and then Steve Jones, who's kind of like a professional role model to me.
Yeah, Steve Jones, we've got a chance to interview him. Fantastic guy. A lot of people don't know he absolutely loves like Marvel and DC comics and that type of thing. So
yeah. I actually went with him to I don't even know what it was called, but it was in Springfield one day, and we looked at comic books for about 3 hours. I phoned for about 3 hours, but he looked at comic books for about 3 hours.
Well, hey, you mentioned, baseball player growing up. You obviously had to be a big baseball fan. Was there a favorite team or player that growing up as a child you like to watch?
When I was really young, it was the New York Yankees, because that was when like Derek Jeter and Rivera and Giambi and all them were, at the highlight of their career. I'm still Derek Jeter's my favorite baseball player ever. And of course, my family's a huge Cardinals fan, huge Cardinals fans, and so am I. Albert Pujols, I have forgiven him at this point. It still hurt. But Pujols and Jeter were my two favorite players. Rivera is probably like my third favorite, just because how dominant he was.
Well, I know you mentioned Pujols. I think a couple weeks ago, everyone thought, hey, maybe he's going to finish his career with St. Louis, and he ends up going over to L.A.
I know. To the Dodgers of all places. I really hope he still finishes up at St. Louis, even if it's one of those, one-day contracts that they do. I think it would be fitting.
Well, now, during your playing days, what position did you play?
When I was younger, I pitched a lot, mainly because I was a lot bigger than everybody and could throw it a lot harder than everybody. By the time I got to high school, everybody kind of caught up to me, and I mainly played first. I was left-handed and tall, so there wasn't much else to put me because I couldn't throw strikes.
Well, now, of course, after your playing days was over, you've now transitioned to a high school coach. What kind of inspired you to be a baseball coach?
I I love sports. I love baseball. Really, Steve Jones at Yaleville inspired me to go into education in general. Because not only did he have a big impact on the field, but he was a really good high school history teacher. And I just thought, if I could impact kids as much as he has impacted me and some of my close friends, then that was the profession for me. So it kind of a no-brainer. I think I realized during my senior year that was the path I wanted to take.
Right. Well, a lot of players sometimes find it difficult to transition from player to coach. Has that been a pretty smooth transition from player to coach?
I mean, it's a rocky road. You learn every day. I would like to think I'm a better coach every day. So it is rocky. When you're a player, of course you worry about the team, but you're still kind of, I'm not going to say focused on yourself, but you're kind of your number one priority. As a coach, you've got to look at the extreme big picture of everything. You've got 12 to 15, 16 guys that you've got to only from but from their grades and, emotion, just mentally and the whole 9 yards, you're a senior in high school or when you're going to college, it's kind of a learn on the job training.
Right. Well, not only, like you just mentioned, not only are you a coach, athletic director, but you're also a math teacher. What subject do you teach in math?
I teach junior high math in 8th grade.
All right, so that'd be like probably like algebra, and that algebra one,
pre-algebra. I love math. I'm certified in math and history. I love history too. I'm one of those 2-hour documentary on Netflix about World War. Math. Math has always kind of came, I guess, easy to me. My sister's a math teacher. Both my parents were bankers, so I kind of think maybe numbers. I don't know. I got passed down the, I don't know how to add
numbers from them. Well, hey, kind of tell us a little bit about last year. Your baseball season's over now. Kind of tell us, how was last year for the Cotter Warriors?
We about 500. Made a trip to regionals. We played the top seeded Mansfield, and just kind of lost a heartbreaker. We lost 3-0. At one we had runners second, third, no outs, and they retired our next 3 batters. So we were just right there, had a chance to beat them, and just came up a little short. But it was a good year. Had some young guys step up. Had a freshman pitcher, Ty Tilton, that was had a real freshman year. I'm excited about. I heard some more sophomores, and then some juniors, and only one senior, Jackson Evans. So really, the future looks bright. Move up some good players from the 8th grade class coming into 9th grade next year. So I'm excited.
Well, that's something too. Like you mentioned, you only had one senior last year, so a very young team that you have over at Cotter right now.
Yeah, we are young. Next year I'll have, I think, 4 or 5 seniors, and those are some guys I've coached since Babe Ruth. So really, I really am excited. I know you hear that a lot. I was excited about next year and all that, but I really am excited about next year because I think we'll be pretty tough.
Well, you mentioned you're one senior. That's kind of rare to only have one senior on the team, but I know just recently, we actually got a chance to broadcast the graduation over at Cotter. So any memories of your graduating senior who graduated last year?
Jackson and I were very, very close. He is one of the players that I've ever coached. He has a love game, one of the prettiest swings I've ever seen. I have a lot of memories of him. Probably the first one that comes to mind is we were in a tight conference game at home against Yaleville, and can't remember exactly what had happened, but I think we had just taken the lead on some sort of play. I think maybe a pass ball, and Yellville had kind of regrouped and settled down and got the ball, and play was almost dead. And here comes Jackson rounding third base, and Jackson is very coachable. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes he got this look in his eyes, and he was going to do what was on his mind. It didn't matter, what you were going to say. And he was rounding third, and I was busy watching the play at home. And by the time I saw him, he was rounding third, and he had that look in his eyes. So I just thought, well, here we go. I didn't even say anything to him. And it was kind of a dramatic, acrobatic slide at home, and he was safe. And I think it gave us a 2-run lead at that point. We held on to win the game by 2 runs. So it worked out.
Awesome. Well, I mentioned earlier, congratulations, just recently named athletic director.
Yeah.
For those people tuning in, what exactly does a high school AD do?
I don't know that we have time to go over all that without everybody falling asleep. It's a lot of stuff that people don't think about. From everything like to making sure that there's concession stand workers and stuff in the concession stand to sell, gatekeepers, referees. You got to make sure the lights are on, the scoreboard's working. That's kind of been a problem here lately. Knock on wood, it's not a problem anymore. Eligibility with the AAA is a huge thing. You're looking after, I think, 9-10 teams here. Making sure, there's this AAA wants everything online now. So you're always entering physicals and checking eligibility and grades and all that. Then of course you try, there's 9 or 10 teams that always, we always need stuff. So you're managing a budget and, kind of making hard decisions on wants versus needs. So there's a lot that goes into it that people don't realize. You have to be at all the games.
I was going to say it's a lot more than just sitting watching the game.
Right. And you're the first one there to unlock the place and the last one to leave to lock it back up. And that's night after night. Then of course, your coaches are needing stuff, and you try to, you always have their back and do everything they ask that you can.
Well, hey, congratulations on that, and we're looking forward to. You mentioned you're one of the last ones to lock up. Usually, we're the last ones to put our equipment away, so we'll be seeing you a lot this next couple of years. So, but one more question before we get into our rapid fire. I know you're a big Razorback fan. What's your thoughts on Razorbacks? How far are we going this year?
We're gonna win it all. When Nebraska beat us that second game, I have to admit I was a little down, and I just thought, this will be the most Arkansas thing ever to come up short here in regionals. But I think we're the best team in college baseball. I know we have the best pitcher in college baseball, and Kevin Kopps. Of course, Coach Van Horn's been to Omaha. I don't know, it's like 8 or 9 times. He knows how to win on the big stage. I really think this is our year. Fun fact: I was actually at Omaha when we dropped the fly ball in 2018.
Oh.
I have it videoed on my phone, and I actually have never watched it on my phone. So I was there, and I'm hoping to make a trip back for the finals.
Well, hey, man, that'd be fantastic. It's been quite a year, and hopefully we got a ways to go.
I hope so.
All right, now this is the really tough questions. Those were the easy ones. Now these are pretty easy. So this is rapid fire. So just got 5 of them. One of them's controversial. I've saved that one for last.
Right. Okay.
So we'll start. First one: Panthers or Warriors?
Warriors.
Oh, I was waiting to see how you're going to answer that one. Favorite carnival food?
Funnel cakes. I have a sweet tooth.
Oh, funnel cakes has been just destroying it lately. So that's what everyone's been picking. Okay, I know you're a sportsman. Are you a hunter or a fisher?
I probably a fisherman. I get fever pretty bad from about September to December, though. But probably a fisherman.
All right. Well, all right. Now this is a really important question because I had to do some research before. So, did you ever sell your microwave recently?
Yes. sold it to one of my wife's friends that needed it for a classroom.
I do have to say it was funny because I'm on Facebook and I'm going through and I see, oh, you're selling a microwave. I'm like, man, there's like 50 comments. I was like, why would there be 50 comments about a microwave? I went through that and was reading some of them, and it was very entertaining.
You know, some of my buddies like to troll me on that, but I can't be too mad because I'm a pretty big troll myself on there. So it's all in good fun.
Well, hey, man, it was very entertaining. I'll give you that. So
feel good.
All right, and then this is the controversial one:
right.
Is cheesecake? Is it a cake or is it a pie?
You know, it's got a curd pie, but it's a cake. I mean, it's named cheesecake, so it's a cake. I'm going with that.
All right, there you go. We're split about 50-50 on that. We got a pro wrestling show we do called the Slop Drop, and we interview our guests on there too. And right now, it's pretty much 50-50.
Is it? Yeah, that's a good one. That was tough.
So, Jarod, I just want to say thank you for taking a few minutes of your time. I know we had a little technical issues, and we appreciate you joining us. And looking forward to following you guys. And also, if there's anything TLSN can ever help you with, definitely have to. We're there to help you out. So we really appreciate you.
Sounds good. And hey, on behalf of Cotter and probably all the other area schools, we really appreciate you guys streaming a lot of our games this past season with COVID. That was a lifesaver for probably thousands of folks whose grandparents wanted to stay home, and with limited attendance and all that. It really was. We greatly appreciate it.
Well, if I can get the new AD to approve us to do it this next year, I've already had a certain volleyball coach. A volleyball coach just sent me the schedule and already like, you're doing that game, that game, and that game. She's not even giving me a choice. So
we would love to have you every night. That's for sure.
All right. Well, hey, again, Jarod Jefferson, thank you so much for joining us. And for all of you guys tuning in, remember, go out and do something nice for someone. And remember, your tomorrows are never guaranteed. We'll see you next time on TLSN Overtime.
30 seconds left. Sanchez and Steele. Gets it off to Clausen. Clausen stops. Pops. 3-point shot. Oh, my goodness. Pass knocked loose. Riddle comes away with it. The Riddler.
And it's slam dunk by Riddle.
Riddle with the steal and the throwdown. Look into the air. He's got a man open. Passes up. Complete. Touchdown. Yeah.